Welcome back to the Community Corner podcast, where we explore the companies in the S500 through the lens of behavioral finance. I'm Arnav.
And I'm Nikhil. Today, we're diving into ExxonMobil, one of the largest oil and gas companies in the world, and a major player in the energy sector. We'll be discussing how behavioral finance impacts their decision-making, diversity and inclusion efforts, adaptation to different markets, and how they compare to other companies in the industry. Let's get started.
ExxonMobil has long been a leader in the fossil fuel industry, but from a behavioral finance perspective, how do biases like confirmation bias and the sunk cost fallacy influence their decision-making, especially in areas like investment in new energy sources and exploration?
Confirmation bias is particularly relevant to ExxonMobil's decision-making process. The company has historically been deeply invested in fossil fuels, and there's a tendency to favor information that supports the continued profitability of oil and gas, while downplaying the risks associated with climate change and the shift towards renewable energy. This bias can lead to a slower response to the growing demand for sustainable energy solutions. The sunk cost fallacy also plays a significant role. ExxonMobil has invested heavily in oil exploration and infrastructure over decades, and this can make it difficult to pivot towards renewable energy, even when market signals suggest a need for change.
And this focus on traditional energy sources has made ExxonMobil a strong performer in the oil market, but it also raises questions about the company's long-term adaptability as the world shifts towards cleaner energy.
Exactly. ExxonMobil's continued investment in fossil fuels appeals to investors who believe in the long-term viability of oil and gas, but it also exposes the company to significant risks if the transition to renewable energy accelerates faster than expected. This dynamic creates a tension between short-term profitability and long-term sustainability.
Let's talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion at ExxonMobil. The energy industry has traditionally been male-dominated, but there's been a push for greater diversity. How does this intersect with behavioral finance?
ExxonMobil's approach to DEI is crucial, especially as the energy sector faces increasing scrutiny over its environmental impact and corporate practices. From a behavioral finance perspective, strong DEI initiatives can help ExxonMobil innovate by bringing in diverse perspectives, which is particularly important as the company navigates a complex and changing industry. For investors, a commitment to DEI can signal that ExxonMobil is taking steps to modernize and align with broader societal values, which can enhance its reputation and attract socially conscious investors. However, the company's progress in this area is essential to avoid reputational risks, especially as younger generations place greater emphasis on corporate responsibility.
Investors are increasingly factoring in DEI when making investment decisions, and for a company like ExxonMobil, strong DEI practices can also help them attract top talent and foster innovation, which is critical for adapting to future energy challenges.
That's right. By embedding DEI into their corporate culture, ExxonMobil not only meets investor expectations but also positions itself to better respond to the evolving demands of the global energy market.
Moving on to global markets, ExxonMobil operates in over 50 countries, each with its own regulatory and geopolitical challenges. How does the company adapt to these different markets, and what role does behavioral finance play in this?
ExxonMobil's global strategy involves a deep understanding of the local regulatory and geopolitical landscape in each market they operate in. From a behavioral finance perspective, this adaptability is crucial for managing risks and capitalizing on opportunities in different regions. By leveraging their extensive experience and local partnerships, ExxonMobil can navigate complex environments. Whether it's dealing with regulatory changes in the European Union or managing operations in politically unstable regions. However, this also means they need to be vigilant about changing market dynamics and regulatory pressures, particularly as more countries commit to reducing carbon emissions.
And this adaptability is essential for ExxonMobil, especially as they face increasing pressure to reduce their carbon footprint while continuing to meet global energy demands. Their ability to manage these competing priorities will be key to their long-term success.
Exactly. ExxonMobil's focus on maintaining its global presence while adapting to local conditions allows them to remain a dominant player in the energy market, but it also requires a careful balance between traditional energy practices and the need for sustainability.
Now, let's compare ExxonMobil to other companies in the energy industry like Chevron, BP, and Shell. How do the behavioral finance dynamics differ?
ExxonMobil's approach is often seen as more traditional compared to companies like BP and Shell, which have been more proactive in diversifying into renewable energy. Chevron, while similar to ExxonMobil in many ways, has also started to make more noticeable moves towards sustainability. Investors in ExxonMobil may be more focused on the company's strong dividend history and its commitment to oil and gas, whereas investors in BP or Shell might be more interested in the company's efforts to transition to greener energy. Behavioral finance dynamics at ExxonMobil are shaped by its reputation for stability and its focus on fossil fuels, which appeals to investors looking for steady returns but also exposes the company to risks associated with the global energy transition.
And unlike BP or Shell, which have made more aggressive moves into renewable energy, ExxonMobil's more conservative approach may appeal to investors who believe in the long-term viability of oil and gas, but also makes the company more vulnerable to shifts in energy policy and consumer preferences.
Absolutely. Each of these energy companies has its own behavioral finance dynamics that influence how investors perceive their value and potential risks. For ExxonMobil, the focus on traditional energy sources and a cautious approach to diversification provides a unique value proposition but also carries significant long-term risks.
To sum up, ExxonMobil's approach to business is deeply influenced by behavioral finance principles, whether it's through their investment strategies, global market adaptations, or their approach to DEI. But like all companies, they are still subject to the biases and perceptions that can influence investor behavior.
That's right. Understanding these dynamics provides a clearer picture of what drives ExxonMobil's stock price and where the potential risks and rewards lie.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Community Corner podcast. Until next time, I'm Arnav.
And I'm Nikhil. Stay curious and keep questioning the narratives.